We are once again backstage live here at the Arcada Theatre at historic St. Charles, and I am with two stars of one of the biggest shows on television right now. But as big of a stars as they are, that's how cool and sweet and humble they are. Charles Esten, Chip. Sorry, I'm learning. I'm learning. Perfect, yeah. And Clare Bowen. Thank you so much for being here at the Arcada Theatre. I mean, having you guys here is a big deal.
Well, thank you for having us. It's lovely.
Well, it's a big deal for us too. Actually, we've been looking forward to this. We see each other on the set all the time when we're shooting scenes or when we're crossing, during the day when she's shooting another scene, and we keep looking at each other and going, one more week, 3 more days, 2 more days. Yeah,
people tweet us about it. It's really exciting.
You love what it's obvious. I mean, I've been watching all kinds of clips of you guys performing together, performing separately, and you have this passion for this, which is something that a lot of people ask me to ask you folks, and that, you're obviously on TV, you're playing a character, you're playing a role, you're obviously musicians, but, are you more of an actor than a musician, or are you just having a great time partying and just happen to be acting in a role on television?
It's just all together.
It's all together?
Yeah,
that's so much fun.
Yeah, that is the great thing about this is we kind of don't have to answer that. There was a time where we had to choose one path or the other, but this is both feet in, both worlds. Yeah, the line kind of goes away. We get to, play these characters, the uncle and the niece, and we make music together there. But and then
we're so lucky we get to come out here and play for people who aren't in Nashville. It's really nice to be able to bring music to the fans out here.
They're loving it. My gosh, the response that we're getting here. I mean, last night we had country royalty here. We had Miss Loretta Lynn here last night.
My goodness.
It was I'm telling you, it was a big deal. It was interesting because when she did Coal Miner's Daughter, a lot of people stand, we have all these rock and rollers, and they stand for their hits, and they're having a great time. But people stood for her doing this song in the way that people stand for the national anthem with such respect. And they stood up and took their hats off. I mean, it was incredible. And you're in this world. I mean, you're in the world.
Well, we're not in that world.
I don't know.
That's amazing.
That's the Mount Rushmore of country music right there.
Of course.
Loretta Lynn would be in the Mount Rushmore of country music. Yeah, I mean, even just to be, did you see the program they have? It has tonight and it also has last night. So
I know, I was like,
there's you and I and there's Loretta Lynn right there. I had to tweet a picture of it. I go, that's the coolest program I've ever been part of before.
Now, has country music been something that I obviously know some of your history, of course, Mr. Hoedown, but was country music something that you've always been a part of, or was that more of what you had to be a part of for this TV show?
Well, I started in opera, and then I'd grown up listening to Dolly Parton and a whole lot of bluegrass and Willie Nelson and Johnny Cash and all that kind of stuff, and that was always really close to my heart. But I'd never sung into a microphone before I got to Nashville, so that was scary. And
really?
No, I was terrified of them.
They have them down there. She just
they're invented. But I didn't.
Use it.
I was like, because you don't use them for classical music. You're supposed to project, and when you're a tiny little person, sometimes it's really hard.
And where does it come from? There's so much power. It's there somewhere. I don't know what it is.
I don't know.
It's a gift. It's just God put it inside her, and I get to see it come out all the time. And
I have hidden jetpacks.
It's really unbelievable.
Thanks, man.
How's things on the set? I mean, it's got to be a little. Is it laid back? Do you get a chance? I saw a couple pictures, a couple videos. You guys just kind of stand in a circle with the guitars, kind of singing back and forth. Do you do a lot of that hanging out type of stuff, Bluebird Cafe style?
It's not quite the same as that. Generally, you're in the scenes with who you're in. So if it's a scene with Deacon and Scarlett, it would just be the two of us, and everybody else would be off either getting in makeup for their scene later or.
We're always working.
Home resting, yeah. Somebody's always working. Although I have to say that, and we both know this, that the people that really work the hardest are the crew.
Yeah.
Because no matter who's in the scene, they're always there shooting the scene. So
unsung heroes, right?
What's that?
Unsung heroes.
Absolutely.
We try to sing it real
loud.
we
do our best for
They're
them.
amazing.
But it also keeps you respectful and trying to do your best to get your lines down and to keep the whole train moving so that they can all get home at a good hour. But and sometimes there are situations where TV is a whole lot of hurry up and wait, where you're all ready to go, and some of those larger group scenes where there's a concert or something, there will be a guitar around or something like that, and it's hard not to play and to sort of work on a song. Like if we were ever when we were doing what was our song at the piano?
This Town.
Yeah, we're doing it
Whole Lot
tonight.
of
I
Love,
forgot.
or-
I better remember it because we're
Stairway to
doing it
Heaven?
tonight. This Town, the song that we got to do at our piano. Yeah, on the breaks, you definitely work on it.
Yeah,
and
we
you
were
play
playing with
together.
like.
Yeah.
You know who said the same thing? Got to be a friend of yours. I don't know for a fact, but I think got to be a friend of yours. Creed Bratton.
I know Creed from The Office.
I know you do. And he
and,
played here, and he said the same thing, that he would keep a guitar underneath the desk,
Absolutely.
right? In
Yeah.
between.
Of course, they also had their computers
cool.
with a Medal
Yeah.
of Honor on them, so they could actually literally they would
Really?
literally play games sometimes during breaks like that. But of course, Creed, yeah, he's people. A lot of people don't understand that he started out rock and roll.
He was the lead. I think it was for what was that, for the Grassroots, right?
Grassroots, yeah.
He was an initial guitar player,
Absolutely.
and we had him here, and he did all the stories about The Office. But he also broke out in song,
Yeah.
had a great time, and it had to be nuts on the cast of The Office. I mean, on the set of The Office.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Every one of those people are unbelievably funny and fast on their feet. It's funny because it all seems like it's sort of improvised. Very little of it was.
Really?
Yeah, a whole lot of that. They're just that great of comedic actors that it looks like they just thought of it off the tip of their tongue. But of course, sometimes a take or two, they'll just add a little something. And especially Steve Carell, he's just going on, and your job is to sit there and at the time and just to keep a straight face. And that might have been the hardest
How
job
do
I've
you
ever
do
had.
that?
Oh, and
How do
you
you
bite
do
the
that?
inside of your cheek, you drive your fingernail into your hand, you do anything you can just to stand there and not ruin his take because you do what everybody else does and laugh.
I got to ask you, you have this persona, obviously a beautiful young lady, the barefoot thing, the flowers in the hair thing, reminiscent of almost like the 60s kind of thing.
Huh.
Is that intentional? Is that something is that a persona you've always had? Is that something that you've always been like, or is that something you've taken on since the television show?
Oh, no, I've always actually. This dress was I bought it at a thrift store in Los Angeles when I first got there, but long before the show. I think it was about $15.
Really?
And yeah, it's all.
I think
I just-
Claire's influenced Scarlett's wardrobe and Scarlett's personality more than Scarlett's influenced Claire's. Would you agree? Am I right?
Thank you.
It seems
that's
that way.
absolutely true. We have a wonderful wardrobe department, and they see what it is about. Some people are special in the way they dress, and they found what that was about her, and I think they found a way to go right to it. I would guess you'd be
That's
happy if they get you. Yeah,
Oh, they were
Susie's
so
unbelievable.
lovely.
Yeah.
We've got a really unique sort of position that we're in where we get a lot of input into our characters. We got to write, I wrote Scarlett's backstory. Callie and RJ in the beginning asked me what I wanted to do, and they were like, well, where did she come from? And they put me on the spot, so I came up with Scarlett. And the wardrobe for Scarlett was quite different to what it ended up as.
Really?
But they let me build her. They helped me build her from the ground up, and they're very receptive and collaborative and very generous with the amount of what we get to put into the characters. It's really
it's
an
part of a
honor.
larger thing they do, which is I kind of call it stealing from the truth. Why not just you have this great wellspring there of creativity and of style, so draw from that. And I think the same thing happened with Jonathan. Avery's character initially was this other thing that was going to be sort of harder edged, more bad guy, more indie kind of a thing, and Jonathan Jackson has this sort of spirit that just shines through, and they knew that he could have acted that easily. He could have easily played
does
that
it
guy
very well.
But why not take the route that
That would
draws
be
a
easy.
little closer to him, and comes this other way. So they do that again and again, I believe, where they let you inform your own character and make it more real.
That's great. They allow you to have that input.
Yeah.
It helps them make it more real, right?
Yeah.
It
And
does.
speaking of real, you're born in Australia, obviously. And you've got a little bit of an accent, but not on TV. You nail it. I
Oh,
mean,
good.
my, you
Thank
could
you.
be, you can almost be a New Yorker. You can almost
golly.
be a yes. Is that difficult? And do you find yourself slipping out of that once in a while, and you got to catch yourself?
I've never heard her slip out of it.
Not at
honestly.
all.
No, not
It's
once.
hard.
No.
I slip into it by accident
No.
when I'm with people, and it's like I don't know anymore. I know I can jump between the two, but it's, I think we were waiting for a month to start shooting when I got the part, and I just stayed in her accent the whole time, and it's something that I've been able to do since I was little. My dad used to bring home videos like Steel Magnolias and Song of the South and stuff, and I really liked the accent, so I walked into the casting room with that, and they kept it. So
I
it's
have to
nice.
admit that mine gets drawn south.
Do you?
South, because I was born in Virginia. I was born in Pittsburgh,
Pittsburgh.
But I was raised in Virginia, so I was born in Pittsburgh. But by the time I was in third grade, I moved to Virginia. I would always visit Pittsburgh. My dad lived there my whole young life, and but so I have this, but definitely being in Nashville or having a guitar in your hands or being around
Yeah.
people. It's hard not to speak just a little bit more like that. It's not like way out there, the Southern accent. So
We're probably the two most Southern characters in the show. We come from Mississippi.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
When they get emotional, it's like become inherent of like this funny, alternate, like parallel universe genetic thing that when they get emotional, their accents get thicker. When they get upset.
Well, that happens in general. I know that if somebody, like if I've seen some moms down there with my kids, and if the mom gets a little angry, she's talking about the soccer coach on, then it starts to really get, that Southern blood comes out a little bit.
Well, I really appreciate you guys doing this. And last quick question: if you could have somebody, anybody, I'll say even living or dead, that could come on the show and sing with you guys, who would that be?
Johnny Cash.
Johnny Cash?
I'd just like to sing with him. That's like.
I thought it'd be Dolly.
Oh, her too. There's too many. There's Dolly and there's Loretta and then.
We were this close to getting her. I would have.
She sat right there, so if you want to.
She did? Oh,
get
my
a little,
goodness. Wow.
Anyway, you guys, thank you so much for being here. Chip, Claire, you really just enlightened us by making us part of your tour. I mean, this is a big deal for us here in Chicago. And I'll tell you what, you're going to go out there and hear a bunch of screaming people.
Oh, I'm so happy.
Well, thank you. We're happy.
It's a big deal for us. We're glad to be here.
Thank you.
It's a beautiful theater.
My dear, thank you so
very
much.
much.
Backstage at the Arcada, Chip Esten, Clare Bowen from Nashville, right here in St. Charles. We'll catch you next time.